I pulled a card for you.
Okay.
All it says is quit coffee for a week.
It just says quit coffee for a week? No!
What week?
Justin, did I leave my phone?
Why is that so mean?
Jason, sorry.
Wow, Jared, reevaluate a long helpful
This hasn't been used on anyone.
That's really pointed.
We're gonna
Just,
shut these
like,
off.
you're just supposed to do this?
Can you see me?
Huh?
Yeah, I can hear
I
you.
don't know. I'm gonna ask Wes that. What's the plan back here?
Somebody's gonna land one of those.
Yeah.
You want paddles or two or no?
Yeah. Put them up here and like lay them out because obviously they'll be displayed. So.
I don't know how you want. This one though. I
Yeah,
think this
all
was
of it. Just throw it out there.
Yes. You guys were live, by the way.
Oh, we are. What deck do you want to pull from? Or should we all just have our own little deck?
No, let's do. Let's start with little
I was going to press a button.
or icebreaker. Little talk.
Okay, well, I'll give you this.
Ooh, courage over comfort.
We'll give everybody a box and everybody can pull a card.
Yeah.
See? All right.
Which box?
I like how pink it is.
Let's see. Oh my god. Someone change my glasses. Ooh, let's.
Did you make those paddles?
Yeah.
Who's looking at
Do you read
Pornhub?
openings? Pornhub.
That's not what my iPad's for. That's for my phone.
Oh,
here we
that's
are.
fun.
Yeah, that was a cute little guy.
Awesome. So, where's my mask? It's up here. Oh my god. Hold on. It's fine. We're fine.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
Oh, you know, I just realized I look like I work at Target.
Everybody needs to sign up.
I'm like red and khaki. We're supposed to be grocery shopping tonight. It's on aisle 10. You'll find it on aisle 10.
I love Target workers. How was your trip to Mexico?
Oh, it was so nice. We did a nude cruise, a nude boat cruise.
I read that. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so that was fun. We didn't go Friday. Friday was their all inclusive, so they had drinks and food and everything. But we were like, we're going to go Saturday because we had plans on Friday. And we found out from friends later that Friday had like 57 guys that went on it, and it turned into like a big giant orgy on the beach. Which I was like, you know, they're nude, they're drunk.
To be expected.
Yeah, they had like a cave that you can go into, and then like this little ridge that you could like hike up in and everything. So he's like, there were guys all over the beach and all the spots. And friends that I made there, one of them said, yeah, I didn't see my boyfriend for like 3 hours. And he was like, there were 57 guys. I was really busy. I was like, oh, wow.
That's actually an impressive ratio if you like start to break down the time of 57 over 3 hours.
3 hours?
180 minutes.
Yeah, he was like, I
that's-
didn't see him until we got back on the boat. I was like, wow. But we went with 9 guys, and it was not an orgy, so.
Oh, why not?
There were, I would say there were some older gentlemen who were just like experiencing the nudist aspect of it, which is why we went too. So it was really nice. We went to the same place, had the same caves, all that stuff. So it was just a nice escape and getaway for Saturday. But overall, I mean, every day I was at the beach or walking around the city, so I got my steps in every day. Each day it's like, wow, you're on a roll, 10,000 steps again. I was like, yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's so crazy. So you're planning to go back in February, correct?
Yeah, it was Cyber Monday, and I was just,
Condon too.
you know, I was like looking at like what the sales was, what was going online, and saw that Southwest had flights for like $39, and I was like, what? So my friends, when I posted we were here, had posted that they were going down in February, so I messaged, was like, when are you coming down? And then I just booked a weekend getaway, so I was like, I'm gonna pop back down, hang out with you guys for a little bit. Yeah, I mean, who can you not? We had a sweet location. We did a like this Airbnb with its 2-story, and it was open floor plan, so you had no windows. The master bedroom upstairs didn't have a wall, like a fourth wall. It just opened up into a patio with an outdoor shower. It was, you know, you had this ocean view all the way like 180, I guess, degrees.
Sounds hideous.
It was beautiful. It was amazing.
That's incredible. Annie, have you ever been on? Have you been to Mexico and been to like an orgy beach or?
I don't go to the orgy beach because of all those family vacations. That'd be kind of weird. But yeah, we still like.
It just depends on your family, but yeah.
Yeah.
Very that, very that. Can we, so you got these new cards?
Yeah, we got these new
I
cards
think
in.
let's all pull in. Jared, why don't you pull in first and ask a question to the group? We'll start with.
Oh, wait, you want to do introductions before we do this so people know what they're talking? And
Yeah, we can. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Wes with Casey Care.
I'm Ace with Woody's KC. We're joined today with.
Hey, my name's Jared Horman. I'm a local Kansas City muralist and artist.
Annie Thrax. I work at Woody's and do a lot of weird things. I don't know.
No,
I
you're
also
like
do a lot of
great
weird
geeky
things.
things.
I would also classify you as a local artist,
Yeah, a maker.
Yeah, Dominatrix, burlesque. Burlesquer? Is it a burlesque?
Kink girl, go for it.
Well, kink.
Yes. Kinky and pink.
Kinky pinky. I mean, very. I feel like we found a new friend.
I'm
figuring that, like.
You're like, can I borrow this?
Yeah.
It's very useful.
I
We'll
can
get to that here in a second.
imagine.
We'll get to that here in a second. So.
Yeah. So we, we always do these card games where we ask questions, just sort of do like icebreakers and get the conversation flowing. So Ace and I have used the Healthy Sexual deck, and we've asked that question a lot. So we got some more cards. So we each have a deck right now. Like mine's called Little Talk.
Where did you get these? So
I got them from
it's a variety pack, and there's multiple decks. And
yeah. This is a variety pack from a company called Best Self, which I think about a month ago when we were talking about journaling and
setting goals
and things like that. So they have this whole journaling book that you can use through the company, and I really like this company, the way they operate their products that they have, and these should be fun. I've never used these cards before, so
we opened them up just a little bit ago. We were doing this a little bit before we were going live.
Yeah.
They're really great questions. So we all have different boxes. Mine is intimacy. Yours is.
Well, it's Little Talk. It's bigger conversations with children. How much fun!
I'm icebreaker.
And Jared, what do you have?
I am deeper talk. Yours is just generic icebreaker?
Best self icebreakers.
Oh, nice.
So let's start with you, Jared. Pull a card and let's we'll have Annie answer it.
Okay. Annie, do big dreams require more luck than hard work? Explain.
I mean, yes and no, because some people are just lucked into, but lots of hard work usually, if you really want to get it.
Yeah.
Because it seems like the people that don't work hard for it don't take it all for granted.
Yeah.
Annie, why don't you pull a card for Wes?
Alright, let's see.
I didn't wear my watch. I can't tell you now.
If you could compete in the Olympics, which sport would you choose?
Ooh, I feel like I would pole vaulting. That always looks so cool to me. Like how they just run and like hold it and just sort of flip over. I think that's so neat.
Fly a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit of ZOG. Yeah, love that.
I don't know. I don't really watch Olympic sports.
Wrestling. Okay,
I
okay.
diving. I know.
I
The
can't
competition's fun.
Yeah. Wrestling. Can I do a redo? Wrestling.
Too late, you're even pole vaulting.
Is there
Yeah, I'll take
a
this.
contest or like? Because I'm down for that. Like I don't know. The whole jumping thing. I'm not. Don't put me down for that.
Ace, this is for you. So, what was your least favorite subject in school and why?
Ooh, my least favorite subject. I have a really good story about this. So my dad worked a lot, and so most of the last what is sixth grade, eighth grade, middle school.
Mm-hmm.
My last couple of years of middle school into my freshman year of high school, my dad literally was never home because he was working and traveling, and he was a project manager for the state of Kansas and was out of town most weeks. And so it was my responsibility to get up and go to school and do all these things, do laundry, cook myself food. But my first period class when I was a freshman in high school was, I think it was like U.S. history or world history, and the guy that taught the class was like this really big, bear gentleman. His name was Mr. Brandenburg, and the way the class was set up is like the door would be here, you walk in, and all the desks were faced towards the front, and his desk was back here. So when you came in, you had to like see him and then walk in front of your class and pretty much like find a seat. And you know, I was young, obviously I couldn't get up on time, so I was always late to this class. And I was young, and I was like coming, like, you know, trying to figure out like my sexuality and like all this stuff, and I had all this like independence, but I also had a lot of like self-talk growing up. And so I would get to class late most of the time, like 15, 20 minutes late. And there were a bunch of jocks in my class, and they just weren't very nice to me, like the seniors, upperclassmen in this like, you know, dumb class that I took. And it was my 8 o'clock class. And so I would have to walk through, and they like bullied me a little bit, and they were really mean, and they would like say fag under their breath and things like that. So what happened was I quit going to class. And I hated that class, and I never wanted to go, so I would just skip it. And I think I skipped it for like maybe 2 months. And finally my dad was like, we need to have a conversation or whatever. I was like, no, like whatever, I'll just go. And so I tried to make it a point to get up earlier to get to class, but it was just such a struggle. And a couple of months in, this teacher who was like this very masculine, big bear, like person who I'd never really talked to and just taught this class, but kind of was like, wrote stuff on the board, he took notes, he wasn't really that interactive, pulled me aside, and I was like super afraid of him. And he, without really telling me that I was gay, basically hinted that he knew that I was gay, but also let me know that he had a son who was also different, that grew up in Spearville, which was like a little town 15 miles away from me, and like his experience, and he was like, I'm not saying that you aren't smart enough to his class, I'm not saying that you are queer, but basically insinuating, but what he did for me is at the very back of the class, he would mark off that chair, so if I did get to class late, I could sit there and I wouldn't have to walk through all of those boys. And that was something that, number one, I hated that class, and I hated growing up there, but like that, what that teacher did for me definitely stood out to me, the fact that he was this older, bare, masculine presenting person who definitely was who I thought these other boys in my class would grow up to be, and very mean, definitely threw me a lifeline. Didn't make me feel stupid, didn't make me feel like this dumb faggot that these kids would call me, and actually like portioned the space for me to be able to come and not have to go through all of those things.
That's powerful.
So, I don't know where you're at. You may be dead because you were kind of old and Mr. Brandenburg.
He's probably like in his 30s at the time.
No, he was probably like in his like 50s. Because his son was like already like older and ever like grown. I'm pretty sure he's like in his 50s, close to 60s. But if you were around, or anybody that went to Dot City High School in the early 90s, Mr. Brandenburg, like he definitely shaped a lot of like who I was, and like not being afraid, but also like giving me space to be myself without being pushed into something, and also giving me that kind of masculine like figure that I wasn't afraid of.
Yeah.
So
It's like gave me you.
So U.S. history, world history, whatever, I hated it, but and then I went to class, and I think I got like a B plus. So it is what it is.
Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah. Wow. That was a really long answer.
I was gonna say, I would have just said physics because I was bad. Your answer was much better.
I don't know if it's better. It's just a little bit more descriptive.
I love physics. It's so much
Science was my worst subject all around. Like, great at math, English, whatever. Science.
no math.
Yeah.
No maths.
Who's next?
You.
Oh,
Yeah.
Who am I asking?
Oh my goodness.
Who hasn't been asked a question?
Me.
Okay.
It's the intimacy category. Lovely.
Fun.
Ooh, this is really good. How would your ex-partner of your last serious relationship describe you?
Is he sitting across from you now?
No.
He's not sitting across from me. Ooh, that's. I mean, we are still amicable to this day, so I think he would probably describe me as.
The one that got away?
Nope.
Now that you're not fish back in.
I think we've established
Catch
that
and
we're done.
release.
I mean, I would think that you would say that it just didn't work out, and we had different goals and visions with our relationship.
What would your Yelp review be? Like, would we give you like 3 stars? It's good for takeout.
I would definitely do takeout, but I would never dine in again. The booth was dirty.
Sorry, that was a follow-up?
Yeah, I see. I was prepared for that question, but the follow-up,
Yeah, Yelp reviews are hard.
I know.
There's like managers involved, and, like, other staff members.
I feel like he'd probably give me a 4.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah.
It was
Like on a scale of 1 to 5.
a 10.
Oh. Joke.
Okay.
And now I'm single now, so
Are they?
I don't think so.
So you're just like practice.
Yes.
You're. You just like went to that restaurant, but then had dessert like at his favorite place.
That's not a bad metaphor.
Sometimes we do that. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's all practice.
Yep. It's practice for me. We'll get there.
Well, to get us back on topic a little bit, and to let our viewers know what we're talking about today. So we have Annie Thrax, who is a dominatrix, kinkster. So we have a ton of some of the items that she's made, and some of these kink toys and things that we'll be talking through. And then Jared is also joining us to talk about World AIDS Day and the mural that he created and painted on the side of Casey Care's building at
It's been getting
3515.
so many like reshares and
Yes,
and, like,
incredible.
all over Instagram, all over Facebook, all over social media platforms everywhere. I just like feel like every time I open up something, it's like Jared Horman. Not that I don't love you, but
Yesterday
it's
was
incredible. It's like really incredible to see like the reach and span that like what you've created has like amassed like within not just our community, but I've seen it posted in other people and friends from other cities, which is great.
Yeah.
Celebration of World AIDS Day.
It's
Exactly.
been crazy seeing the reach and seeing even like what I'm tagged in, and then like this morning, like one of my college friends texted me like a picture of her cousin who lives in like DC that shared a picture of it, and like
Wow.
the reach of like it getting outside of Kansas City. It's been an emotional 24 hours.
Can you like walk us through a little bit and describe a little bit about like how this process started and like how you were able to, I mean, get that spot, create this piece?
Yeah. How should I start this backstory? So the murals through the AIDS Service Foundation of Kansas City back in July, they did a call for proposals for a mural to celebrate World AIDS Day this year. And the proposal that I put together ended up being the one that was selected. And I think I should talk this way or this
Yeah,
way?
talk to the camera.
Talk to the camera. And so the proposal that I put together was selected. And then in early November, with the help of my friend Justin Van Pelt, we executed it with the 4 warm days that we got left out with. And essentially, the mural centered around this idea of me kind of venting some frustrations, but also asking a question about. So my initial thought was to do something about how frustrated I am about the government's decision to ignore AIDS during the 80s. And the more I thought about it, and the more that I thought about what message I want to leave with people today is one that more inspires like the future. And so I ended up talking more about another thing that bugs me about the lack of basically the generation of people that's missing and how that's left a gap for younger queer leaders and has left pressure on older queer leaders that are survivors. And so the mural says, who should I look to be when AIDS took a generation of lovers and mentors, thinkers, and leaders from me? And then it follows that up with a big pink triangle that says, don't let stigma keep you from this generation. Stigma equals hate. And I really wanted that message to be something that causes the viewer, people going into Casey Care, people driving along Broadway, Kansas Cityans in general, to think about that lasting impact in our communities, and to think about how they themselves can step up to kind of fill those shoes. So along with that, those words, I painted these figures inspired by both the art that I make using chess pieces, as well as the work of Keith Haring, who's a huge idol of mine, and also an artist and activist who died of AIDS in '89. And so it's kind of an homage to him.
So what did it feel like for you when like you're painting it and you step away and you're done and you're looking at it and you see that full realization of that thought, you know, and what that quote means to you, and you just see it up in the building. It's permanent, you know.
Whew. I mean, I got a little teary-eyed. Justin and I both felt pretty emotional once we finished it, and just like looking up and seeing this giant pink triangle that's 3 times the size of me, even, and then with the words towering over that, and realizing like this is going to be something that almost anyone that comes to Kansas City is probably going to see, and have that like impact into their eyes, and it's huge, so they can't miss it when they're driving. It felt like I'd done something good with the skills that I have.
Yeah, that's powerful. Thank you. Yeah, for myself, like seeing that, it was. I mean, I was moved by it, and within like a day, like I texted you and was like, "Hey, can I get like I want to put this on bags. I want to like share this, you know, and give it out." I was like, "Can we do this? How do we do this? Stuff like that." I think, you know, more people need to know. So like Ace was saying, people in DC are sharing this, you know, and that it's had that broad approach, and I think that's really powerful. So yeah, I'm glad that yours was selected for sure.
That's incredible. Obviously, too, you know, World AIDS Day, like it's that creation over the process of the past few weeks, and you doing this, and now like really World AIDS Day happening. You know, what was it, yesterday, the day before? Like obviously, it's been like even more mainstream and being like I guess publicized and seen everywhere. How does that feel? Waking up and having I'm sure you're getting tons of messages or you know likes or hearts or people just congratulating. Like, what does that feel like right now in this like present moment?
A little overwhelming. I don't know. I'm trying to respond and like thank as many people as I can for sharing it. I mean, it feels like I tapped into something even beyond what I envisioned with it. Hearing even throughout the World AIDS Day events yesterday, hearing other people talk about it and their take on it, realizing that it says a lot more than I even envisioned in my art, and it's kind of taken on a life of its own, and that's what I want to make.
Yeah.
This is wow.
Yeah. Like so yesterday for World AIDS Day, like when I was sitting there thinking about like what post I wanted to make or something, you know, it's a hard thing to do. One, living with HIV, so I feel like the post is definitely a personal post or something like that. And when I read Justin's post, like he started with "fuck," and I was like, yeah, I just want to say that and just leave it at that. You know, it was, you know, the Republicans, President Reagan at the time, nobody got involved until Rock Hudson, their friend, actually contracted HIV. And then they were like, oh, it can happen to us, like rich people? Oh my gosh, we should actually get involved. Our friend has it now. After countless thousands and hundreds of thousands of people had already passed away and they finally had moved. And I thought, you know, seeing, you know, with what you said and taking that, I was like, you know, my mentors, like who I would have looked up to, you know, when I was like 10, 12, going through, you know, the late 80s to the 90s during the AIDS crisis, that, you know, it was HIV. It was gay people got HIV or AIDS, and so we didn't talk about it. You know, there was no role model or anyone for me to look up to, except for that's the person who's going to get HIV and die. And so that was definitely somebody who you didn't want to be, and you didn't want to associate with. And so it sort of made you stay in the closet as opposed to giving you the opportunity to be out. So I think I really appreciate what your message is, and I think that it really touched home for me. So yeah.
I think that, you know, I love that you said too, like it's and if you do drive down Broadway, you know, like there's no way that you can't even drive by quickly and not see this massive pink triangle and want to at least turn around or like figure out what that was to come back and look at it. I've already seen, every time I drive by, I see people out there taking photos in front of it, which is amazing. But I did see, I've been trying to stay off social media, I'm just trying to be on work and like nothing else, because like it's just been a lot for me, just like with everything. But I did like casually see a post, I can't remember who it was from yesterday, talking about how, you know, it's crazy now that we're in such a huge pandemic with, you know, COVID right now, and people are just like, this is the biggest pandemic that we've seen, but like maybe like as a nation, but the first one that we really saw was the AIDS epidemic like, in the 80s, and that's something that I think that a lot of maybe straight people, heterosexual people don't really correlate, because it didn't really impact their community as much as it's impacted ours.
Yeah.
You know, people are saying now, like, you know what, it's taken like a year maybe to even come out with vaccinations, where we're still going 40 years probably strong for HIV and don't have a cure or even like we're making some headway. We've got PrEP, we've got things like that, but it's
Yeah,
still
you
very
have
prevalent.
incredible medication, but that's it. Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that the more visibility and the big impact on things like that, like, setting outside of our, I guess, our, like, queer culture and making it more, I guess, mainstream, is that visibility is very important. And I really applaud, like, what you did for helping to do that. And also with Wes, like, I'm a little bit older, and I know that there are times, especially during this pandemic, that I've really wanted to look to some mentors, some older queer gentlemen or women, or in the middle for advice, and it's just not there because a lot of them died.
And it's hard to put that pressure on somebody who's lived through a trauma like that. Like they don't have anybody to turn to either because they lost their friends, they lost their loved ones, they lost their family. So it's really hard to lean on somebody who's lived through that trauma, and then you have to, I guess, resurrect it. It's like discussing is like, like, can I ask you, for support? And they're like, I'm trying to deal with, with something went on like 40 years ago, and here it is. And fast forward, it's happening right now with the inability of people to just take basic precautions to protect others and themselves, and it's the same thing that happened with HIV. That total, it's not real, it's not going to impact me, I don't care, it's only impacting those individuals.
It's only for queer people, just like, COVID's like, well, it's only going to kill old people with like pre-existing conditions. Like, that's, reality is, it's like, if someone dies, it doesn't, we should take precautions not to have people die.
Exactly, I agree. What little steps we can make. So, sort of like shifting a little bit, Annie, when you are working with, like engaging with individuals, do you talk about HIV or STIs? Like, does that ever come up, or is it something that you don't really like approach that subject?
Yes and no. Like, whenever I'm doing like the pro-dom stuff, like there's no really fluids.
Okay, yeah.
It's more like pain and stuff, so it's not really.
It's not really like a sexual act as much as it's just like a kind of exchange of power.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So I mean, unless it's like someone I'm intimate with, then yes, that conversation's on the table. But if it's just like this, there's no.
Yeah, so if you're like spanking someone, I guess?
Yeah,
Or...
unless I'm going so hard, like we're going to break skin, which still doesn't really. So no.
Yeah. Wow. So, Annie, what are some of these things that we have here on the table?
I just grabbed a couple fun things, like the paddles I made.
Casually have them in my bag.
Right.
Yeah, so this one's in my purse. A couple ball gags, because I think they're cute.
I really like that one just because it's like glittery, but this one's like a little heart on it.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
I was like, that one's adorable. This one's not really functional. I just think
it has
it's...
like a pig nose, or it's but it looks like a pig nose.
Oh my god, you need a pig nose. Yes.
Little pig gag.
Oink, oink.
Then some cuffs, but I couldn't find the keys this morning.
Ooh, that's even better.
That's why I wanted to warn you. I was like, just in case. These you can get off, these will not come off.
Whoops, that would have been a really interesting day for you.
There's like, hey, surprise.
So you made all of these?
No.
Except for the handcuffs, right? Or...
I only made the paddles.
Oh, okay.
So I do make ball gags. I couldn't find the ones that I made.
So a little bit about your history. Like, how long have you been? And like, I guess I'm a little new to this. Like, I don't understand. So for viewers as well, like questions, they may sound a little ignorant or juvenile, but bear with me. What exactly would you say that you do?
I mean, I've done. I just got so nervous. I thought you had the wrong set on. So I started out doing sex work at 18. I started out as a phone sex operator back when there was still a market for that, which was phenomenal. And from there, I learned a lot about different kinks and all that, because you're getting here, on the phone, you're hearing everyone's deepest, darkest fantasies, and then kind of, try to find the logic, because usually every kink you have, there's a reason why you're attracted to that, and for some reason it just came into this.
So basically,
just
have to do a little psychology majoring and.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It's like, well, why? Why do you want me to tie you up and stick this in your ass? Like, what brought us here? And it does help them, and that way they're expressing themselves. And
yeah, I don't think anyone's ever asked me that. Like,
why do you ever need to
why do you want
handcuffs on when you just see them on the table?
We should probably talk about that.
Dan, do you want to share?
Does it make you feel more comfortable?
Do you feel more empowered?
I don't know if I feel more empowered. I'm intrigued by the experience, though.
But also could be cute little accessories.
I was gonna say they are cute and I like bracelets. So
just feeling adorable.
Walking around.
Modeling my bracelets.
What are you
What are you doing?
Have you been arrested before?
They're road trainers.
Have you been arrested before?
I have not been arrested.
Ooh, that's what we
I've tried.
Well, that sounds like there's some white privilege there.
How you said that you've been in sex work since you were 18?
Mm-hmm.
May I ask how old you are?
I'm 36.
You're 36. So, getting into this industry, especially sex work, I know that I've had my own history with sex work as well. Like, and that's a pretty big span from 18 to your age now, and still, you know, dabbling or in this or whatever. How has that been for you as a female?
I mean, whenever I started out, because now people are a lot more open about it. Stigma has changed; it's still not great on it. But with OnlyFans and all that, people are a lot more open to the idea of it. And strippers are now not as like dehumanized. Strippers are now more welcome and all that. So everything's just become a lot better. So whenever I started out, I'd lie about. My mom thought I was working in a call center, which like I kind of was. I was like, it's not too far of a stretch. But I don't know. I've done like not every form, but lots of different forms. So I just moved to New York to be a sugar baby for a little while, and that was entertaining.
A stripper baby?
A sugar baby.
A sugar baby.
Sugar baby, yeah.
Oh.
I just got carried off. I don't even know where I was going with that.
We were talking about what it was like for you to be a female in this industry and the longevity that you've done. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the things, I mean, obviously growing up at 18 years old, even as any human, like you were definitely changed within a 20-year span mentally. And like getting into this, when you first started this, was it something that you did because some traumatic thing happened to you, you need to experiment and feel this, or was it, you know, like a more monetary thing, or was it something that you were just interested in? Maybe was it somebody that led you into this?
It was just, I was broke. I needed a job in the back of the pitch.
The back page.
They had a job, and it was like, hey, like, call this number. And I didn't know what it was. It was an acting job. So I was like, I can act. I can do this. And I was like, oh, no, it's phone sex. That's way cooler. So, like,
wow. 100% can do this.
Because, like, back then, it's like I could make $30 an hour from my home, which was, at 18, was phenomenal.
Yeah,
18? Yeah. And you're working from home? Okay. I want that now.
And it was fun because it was like, I ran like, it was like 14 different lines. So you'd stay on the phone all day, and then you'd get the little dial tone, and it'd tell you who you're going to be. Sure, there was like young and older. There was like fetish and teen fetish and like all the different channels, which got to be a lot of different people. A lot of them, my voice did not portray who they wanted to get hung up on a lot. But
I was gonna say, can you do different voices still?
I can.
Of your characters?
Some of them, it takes me a second, but it's like, oh, daddy, like. And if you can give me a phrase, I can do a lot better.
Hold on, let me get my deck out.
Like,
I said deck. Hard deck.
Get your what out?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so I would assume that you obviously have friends in the industry as well.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I do really want to touch on, the fact that you're a female and knowing you, like I have a lot of friends too, and I feel like in the recent few months, maybe past year, whatever, I really feel like with technology, and especially with this pandemic, that OnlyFans has really blown up, and things like that, and sex work has become a little bit more normalized, a little bit less stigmatized. But I know that in my experience, that it really wasn't, and it was something that I was very ashamed. It was something that I did even when I was like older, like into my like 20s and 30s. That I did while I was going to, like, not to be that like, oh, it's stripping and I'm putting myself through law school, but basically like I worked at a bar, I did stuff like sex work, and I was going to law school. So it's very much something that I like had to hide from a lot of my friends. I had to hide from my family, and it was like this whole weird dichotomy. But in that, I actually met people in the adult industry that were doing the same things, and so it very much helped normalize it for me, meeting people that, and if you didn't know them in this instance, and you would see them walking down the street, you would just like think that they were normal people. There was something even in my head that was so like, people that are in sex work are slutty or drug users or doing this, and it was just, how could I be a part of this and even in my head, I think that people that what I'm doing are like this, which is very not much the case.
Yeah, just a lot of self-hate.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people have that when really it's like, no, the more you talk about it, it's like more people have at least dabbled in it or considered it, like some sex work, because we've all been broke before.
And how has that been, like, being a woman and seeing other women? Because I feel like, you know, in my experience, even on the gay side of adult film, that I would run into girls and stuff, because I used to sometimes drive girls to like bachelor parties or private parties where they would fuck dudes or like dance or whatever, and I would just stay there, make sure they're okay, and then we would drive them to the next event and things like that. And I there was a lot of, in my experience, seeing a lot of degradation from some of the girls, and some of the girls you could tell were just broken down, but some of the girls, like, they very much like went in and were very empowered and strong, and some girls you could tell they're really, I almost was like, are you being sex trafficked? Because I feel like this is not something that you want to do. I feel like this is not something that is consensual.
But that is a thing. There is the sex trafficking part of it, and now since that's more open than it's ever been, like, if you can kind of tell the signs, because I've had girls where I'm like, you know, it's like, this is not,
You don't belong.
it does not spark joy. Like,
No,
what
right?
are you
Not
doing?
spark joy.
Yeah.
It's like, I understand you need money, you know, and try to help them out of that situation, or usually it's someone pushing them and they're taking that person's
Big
money.
cut, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so being, you know, strong and doing what you're doing, have you been able to engage in those conversations? Have you, you know, been able to speak with other females, and how, like, what is that?
Oh yeah, we have a lot of, like, I mean, even just online groups where, like, I know girls nationally that we all have this, at the end of the day, we all kind of have the same issues. Where it's like, hey, I have this problem with this client, how would you handle it? Like any other job.
And I think also, like, on a local level, and, you know, my experience with some of the leather and BDSM kind of community, which I'm 100% not a part of, but I've experienced a little bit, it does seem very, very, like, male dominated. It does seem very, like, contrived, and even the females that I have seen a part of it still are, like, overshadowed by a male figure. Like, how do you navigate that and break into that and be like, hey, I am a woman, I'm still powerful, I'm still present, like, I don't need you to tell me what to do, I got this.
So with, before COVID, I would throw kink parties and stuff like that, and that's why, like, if you see behind you, I like my fetish stuff to be pink, to be fun, to be not that dark, like the wood, and, like, it has to look scary, because it's like, if you make kink more inviting and all that, people will be more drawn to it, and it's no longer that dirty little thing that everyone likes. It's like, no, it can be fun.
It can be very Hello Kitty.
Yeah.
Hello Kitty.
Yeah. It's not like, oh my gosh, whips and chains. Like, it is whips and chains, but it's not. But one of my first events sold out. Wonderful, doing great. Before, like, the doors were fully open, a man came up to me and he goes, why don't you have a man doming this? And I'm just like, the whole point of this was to make it more female and queer and all this, and not the fedora neckbeard. Sorry if you're a fedora neckbeard watching this. But not having them tell us what to do and how to do it, and making it to where they feel safer. Because a lot of times that when the men are, I don't know, in charge of it, and, like, it seems like that, the women don't, you know, like, they're not you know, like, I'm trying to think how I can word this. It's not this what's turning you on, it's what it's turning them on, and it's not consensual good time.
That's like you said it before, it's like a lot of this community isn't about sex and it is about fluid, it's about power exchange. And when there's, like, one person getting all the power, that's not really, like, what this is about. It's about that.
A give and take.
Yeah, a give and take.
I like what you touched on is consensual. Like, you know, as part of sex work is really important that there has to be, it has to be consensual.
Oh,
As part,
huge.
yeah, as opposed to being like sex trafficked. You know, that's not consensual.
Yeah.
And what does that look like? You know, when you realize somebody is being sex trafficked, like how do you help them?
Sometimes, you know, like, you can't force anyone to do anything. So sometimes it's Stockholm syndrome, and so they think, like, this is the only way I can do it. So it's like, I'm gonna offer everything, all my resources I have, but at the end of the day, you can't force anyone to leave, which is terrible.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the whole pimp mentality and all that, is where that comes. Because even sometimes they think they're not being sex trafficked because they do have a pimp. It's like, no, the pimp's the one trafficking you.
Right. And I agree with Dave. So, like, only, like, the push for OnlyFans or just for fans, or, you know, Pornhub or whatever site that you set up your
Facebook Messenger.
Yeah, where you set up your
I got a lot of dick pics.
right? Like, it gives people the opportunity to sort of be in control of that, and to sort of, like, decide who they engage with, and empowers them to control their sexuality and express themselves, which wasn't, I don't feel like it was something that was available to individuals maybe 4 years ago, 10 years ago.
I mean, yes and no, because with FOSTA SESTA, which was a law that got passed, it's probably been close to 4 years now. There used to be websites like when Craigslist took all the personals off. That was because of FOSTA SESTA. Backpage got taken down and all that, but also the sites that we use to rate clients. To where it's like, okay, blacklist this person, all those got taken down.
Wow.
So like they were saying they were helping people when really hurt a lot of people, a lot of girls that would like
Fucking Republicans.
Yeah, exactly. But like girls that could find clients online that had to go to the streets, which is way
More dangerous.
extremely dangerous. And they've kind of wiggled around it now, but it's still like they set up laws to help, which really just did the
Take away
opposite.
the actual safety. 100%.
So you said you had some other things here behind us.
Yeah.
Well, I want to open up real quick, Jared. Did you have any questions?
Oh, yeah.
What are your thoughts on this? Like,
I'm just curious about like.
just really want to use that fisting dildo.
Yes.
That one's fun.
Speechless.
You talked about that law taking down a lot of the sites, and then there's new sites up. What protections are there for sex workers in Missouri or beyond?
I mean, at the end of the day, no one's really protecting us. Like, it's really, you have to, like, because I see a lot of younger girls coming into it and then not realizing that the safety nets. But there's still, I think, I can't even think of the name of the sites, like My Number and stuff like that. But there's still ones that pop up, and the ones, if they find them, get shut right back down. So, it's great.
Yeah.
Because there are clients that will like use the same number and just spam and set girls up and like send them bad locations and just want to do the most.
Okay.
Ace and I were playing Charlie's Angels over here, sorry.
Yeah, just
Always
Let's
kind
play
of
it this way.
So is that removable? Can you like
Yeah.
put different, okay.
it's the Doc
Different
Johnson
attachments?
for any Doc Johnson that you can
Oh, the vacuum lock?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
you can put any of them on there. He's just the small guy, so I thought it was cute and bring the little guy.
It's like, what a fun thing to do with brass knuckles.
Just get it in there.
Yeah, you're really gonna punch
This
it.
is wild. So, I love all these things. I love how you're just like, these are just casual things that I just brought, blah, blah, blah. You have multiple things or whatever. Also, me and Jason, our new camera guy, we ended up going to your storage unit last night a little bit really late. Maybe a few shots in. But Annie has this most amazing storage unit, and she actually has this huge ball pit, which we were a little bit too drunk and I ran like space in my truck to put it, but it's just a lot. But it's a really cool ball pit. But what I love is all of your stuff is hot pink and like shimmery. But we were able to bring a couple things. If maybe Jason can grab his camera, we can come over here. Maybe Jared will let you do.
Show me how these work.
Yeah.
Show me how
Oh, this has got straps on it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the cross, we don't really, it's not very secure.
Okay.
We didn't bring all the pieces.
Yeah. But from there, if you kneel, I'm gonna do it either way. You can either kneel here and like bend over, or you can like straddle this.
I feel like you're familiar, so stop pretending. Oh.
Have you been on your knees?
Yeah, you can kneel here and bend
Hike your
over.
leg over.
Oh, I didn't
Like you
know
can do
that.
it that way if you want, and then just a little bit of like a bump, or like,
Just a full straddle.
or you
Yeah.
can full straddle.
Yeah,
and
Get up there! Come on, pony boy!
Riding a horse.
Yeah, and then like that's when like if you really want to get, the cuffs
Oh,
on
and
them.
they go like.
Yeah, that guy got old.
Get in here.
You got like you want your feet.
So these are for my hands?
And for your ankles, right? I think this is too small for
Yeah, your elbow would be right here.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's that way, and then he's just stuck.
Is that
Then I'm
comfortable?
not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I feel like you want your
Yeah,
like
it's not supposed to
I
be.
think
your
you need
your
butt
your
close
junk
up.
right here.
There we
There you go.
There we go. That's a little more
And then you just kind of hang out,
We just sort of hang
and
out.
then you can bring.
That's where that
Yeah,
comes
And then
That's.
Yeah, you look so casual.
I feel like that was built for you.
Yeah, I mean the height's right. Like my legs.
Oh my goodness. So how does this thing over here? What is like what would be the real actual operating system to
So
this?
that's just
So are you backed up to it, or are you like this way or this way?
either or. My favorite one, I went to this party and it was still, I want to recreate it where they had two crosses facing each other,
Mm-hmm.
and where you are face to face. So then you're getting like whipped, they're getting whipped, and you're just gonna have a moment.
Oh, so
as
you're
your
like
friend.
there's another person right here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry, it's a little. We didn't bring the base. It's just kind of. So yeah, you're like that. And
So
then
what about the bottom? Will there also be cuffs like this on the bottom?
Yeah.
Or, okay.
Usually I have ankle cuffs. there.
Wow. So like the base needs to really be there. You're just gonna go bam, just like
Oh,
cuffs
yeah.
to it.
Yeah.
Oh wow. That's really fun. So I love that it's all like pink. Like what inspired that? I mean, obviously you are a lady in pink as well.
Yes, like I do love pink, but also because it is like I don't know when most people think of bondage dungeons, they think of the dark wood, the
Yeah.
chains, the metal, and it's intimidating.
I picture a lot of black leather. Yeah.
Which is also great aesthetic, great look, but I'm like, I don't know, younger generations are more into kink, but I don't know, make it more fun for them and make it.
And you can make it however you want.
Yeah.
I think that's the best part of it.
Where did you make these pieces or did you purchase them?
This was a company that I was trying to launch selling bondage furniture. Me and the business partner had a falling out, so I still have this. And there's a cage.
So you made these.
Yeah, I helped make these.
That's so cool.
I can't take full because I'm not that great with tools, but yeah.
A lot of tools.
Wow.
Jared, what are your thoughts? What do you think? Or is this opening up a whole new parameter for you?
I mean, maybe.
Sexual exploration?
I'm curious about the cross.
Yeah, would you, so you just whip people? I mean, I imagine it would be hard to like engage in like sexual activity.
Yeah, I mean, you can. It's mostly,
It's like
you know,
fucking
a
someone
little
up
bit
against the
of
wall,
that if
I
you're on
guess
there.
so, yeah.
Yeah.
No. They're just like cuffed in and like full spread, like.
Yeah,
okay.
to where it's like whatever, you know, like they give you all your controls where it's like, okay, what do you want to do?
We're still paddling, whipping, yeah.
If you want to do pegging and whatever else, that's up to you, but.
For our viewers, what is pegging?
I
I mean,
was like,
if someone doesn't know
I would
what pegging
assume,
is,
but
Yeah.
you know, just I don't know, strap-ons or just
like that hand,
just a little butt action.
nice.
Oh,
Hard match.
I'm familiar.
Yeah.
Front hole, back hole, all holes.
All holes.
All holes. All holes matter.
Amen.
Oh my goodness. This is so
Wow.
do you currently have access to make these things? Are you still selling these? Is that bondage furniture site still something that you are interested in moving forward with?
Yeah. So my
So if there are any viewers out there that are watching, you need a business partner.
I do. And I have a woodworker to where we can get it. The long-term goal after COVID ends, we want to buy a party bus, only convert the back into a dungeon and have like a mobile dungeon.
I definitely
That is
would rather
so
that.
cool.
Right?
Oh,
So
and just roll it into your house? I love that.
Because can you imagine like bar hopping, but also like having a dungeon? Because girls, you know, like the bachelorette parties love the stripper pole. That's like, no, we can next level this, and then either like have doms go on there and play.
Bar
or
hop
something.
with the dogs.
Yeah.
So
Let's
we have a question from a viewer, and they want to know like how much would you sell a bench like that for? Like how much?
I mean that one is roughly around 500.
Okay.
Oh, that's not. I don't feel like that's very expensive.
No, you like. I'm pricing out slings, and they're like
down a little bit.
500 and something. So I mean that's about it's comparable.
Yeah, I do have a big cage for sale if anyone does want my cage.
Oh, a
How much
cage?
is your cage for sale for?
I'm doing the cage for 500. It's worth a lot more. I just don't have the room for it. So.
How big is it? Like can you fit? Like can you stand up in it, or is it like
It's
you're on
a
all
lay
fours?
down cage, so it's kind of like the top you can strap someone down to. So it's kind of looks like a table.
It's like like a long bench table thing, or
Wow.
whatever, and it's like the top, and then underneath you get it grass.
Yeah.
And on the sides it's like bars, like cage.
Oh, that's
But
cool.
it's hot pink.
Yeah, it's pink,
What?
it's glittery, of course.
Are you thinking of adding to your collection?
Yeah, I'm like, huh. That I mean,
Do I
that
need a
was-
sling or a cage now?
Oh,
Whoa! Are you kidding?
Sorry,
it's
you're right.
America, you can have it all.
You can
I
have
want
it.
it
makes
all.
sense.
I thought it'd be so cool to have the swing above the cage, like suspended. That would be super cool.
Ooh, I like that.
Wait, are we still filming?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still on.
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't know what happened here. Oh, because you closed it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You're right. Ah, I'm so good at this.
Yeah, Felicia says that she wants all those things.
Come over, Felicia, we'll play.
So are you still making your paddles?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna launch a site hopefully this week and start selling them.
Oh, awesome. Well, let us know that link so we can share that with other people. What would you like? What do you price your paddles at? Can people like? I'll just that question first.
So pricing has been one of the big reasons why I haven't.
$60.
Yeah, it's like we came up last night. $60 is probably what I'm going to be doing, unless it's like super custom work.
I was going to ask that. So, can someone request like a custom-made piece?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
It's I make it with resin, so it's really however. Like some of them have glitter, some of them don't. Like
Yeah, those have knuckles in
Have
it.
you ever
Yeah.
broken one of these?
not the resin ones. I have a lot of wood ones that one of my friends makes with me, or he makes them and I paint them because yeah.
Oh, we have Woody's paddles.
Oh, you guys have
Oh.
paddles
We
upstairs.
do. We have two that are like.
That you made?
Burned in.
No.
No, actually, Blake Van Vleck made them.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he did some woodworking. He made some paddles for when we used to have a frat party here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So these have baby faces in them, right?
Yeah, I thought they were funny.
Yeah, that's what I was like. So, why?
Because I don't know, I had dolls laying around. I was like, let's make something weird that no one else has ever made. So
Did you look at a face print on somebody, I guess?
Yeah.
yeah, I haven't used that side down because I feel like that would be a really weird bruise. Really fun bruise, but
Jared, what is? Let's ask a couple questions too. What's in your sex toy repertoire? Is this new to you? Do you have pieces similar to this? Is this something that is sparking joy and interest? What's going on with you?
Most of these are new to me outside of the handcuffs, but it is sparking a little bit of interest, intrigue. I haven't delved too much into this realm, but I'm always exploring and expanding my sexuality.
So if somebody wanted to try something new like this, how would they like engage with that? You want to make sure you're with somebody you trust, I guess.
lots of trust.
Okay.
I mean, it's just everyone does it differently. Like if you're doing it with a partner, or if you're doing it with like as a scene with. So there's the dungeons and all that around town, but it's COVID, so I would not suggest that at the moment.
Yeah.
It's just finding someone that you trust and you can rely on, and you know they won't take advantage of the situation or go too far. Like trust your boundaries.
I think a big part of it too is just like having conversations like this and really normalizing things. And I think a part of my experience, like growing up young and queer, like not having anyone to ask about these questions, but also growing up the way that I did, like it was very taboo growing up in the Midwest. Obviously, American culture, anyways, has that whole stigma of being, nudity and sexuality is something that should be behind closed doors and in private. But being able to have conversations with your friends and talk to them and be like, hey, like, I just saw this thing on Pornhub. Like, what do you think? Have you seen this? Like, what is going on? Like, and also that whole consent thing is a huge thing.
Mm-hmm.
Making sure that you set your boundaries, making sure that you're with people that maybe you can work and figure out what those boundaries are.
Because even with stuff like that, you can be like, oh my gosh, I want to try this, and then you start going and say, nope, stop right now. His consent is very, it can stop at any moment.
I like that. So your safe word.
Yeah.
Does everybody have a safe word?
Yeah, my safe word is no.
That's mine
Get
too.
the fuck off me, no.
Yeah, I'm like, stop, no.
No.
Pesto?
Red light.
Pesto?
That was good.
The pesto's green, so I'd get confused. Does that mean go? You need spaghetti sauce?
I'm not even hungry.
Marinara? Wait.
So we're ordering? Yep.
Sounds good. Oh my gosh, this has been so much fun. This is one of my favorite days. I love this.
I know, this is a really good one. Felicia, I guess she missed what those knuckle things were. So where would someone be able to purchase something like that?
That actually, I believe I got from Cirilla's or something. It's just by Doc Johnson.
Oh, nice,
Which is a
okay.
well-known, sex
Yeah, you
company.
can buy. I know you can get Vacuolock toys on Amazon.
Yeah,
I know
you
that.
can probably get the knuckles on there as well, I would believe.
Prime delivery.
I mean, silicone mold
Throwing
on
it
it, so
in.
there might be silicone, that's why it might be stuck.
Okay, I was like, I feel like
I know, that's why I asked, does this come off? Can you change it? Because it
Yeah,
wasn't coming
usually it
off.
does. Because I make dildos and butt plugs as well, so I made a
What?
million for. I just didn't bring those today.
Let me just stick it in and just hold it really
Yeah,
tight.
I was gonna say, maybe if I can
Not
just get a
clamp.
little clamp on it.
So what do you price your dildos and butt plugs at?
Those I haven't sold because they are made of resin, so it is toxic to
Oh.
put inside yourself.
Oh, that's not
I
good.
just think that it's fun to make dildos and butt plugs.
They're more of a
So like
decoration.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need a dildo wall.
I have a claw machine at my house because for some
what?
reason a little claw machine.
Like the gaming, like as a kid, like
Oh,
you guys
awesome.
come down and fix up.
And I have it filled
That's awesome.
off Amazon. And so it's filled with like homemade dildos and butt plugs. So it's just, I think it's cute.
So you can just like casually have at a street fair. I gotta get the teddy bear. I gotta get that big dick.
Well, you could sell the dildos as like bracelet holders. I mean, I have one on my desk at work, and I put all my rubber bands on it.
Because I thought about doing it as a paperweight and just letting people know, so do not put this inside of yourself.
Yeah.
This is still made of resin.
Like that.
But then if someone does it, I don't want to be responsible for them getting.
Poison.
Yeah.
Ugh, that sounds horrible. You think you get pleasure.
Well, people put a bunch of stuff like in their places and have to go to
As
ER.
I say, people have to go to the ER.
Yeah, so it's like.
Like, I love toxic mints. I feel like a toxic dildo wouldn't be a big difference. That's just me.
I mean, you've never been like super horny. You're like, this will work. This will work.
I think we've all been at the bar at one point and been like, yeah, you'll do. It's fine.
I put a lot of toxic mints on me, so I think like a resin dildo is fine.
You survived the rest.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Annie, where can someone find information? Do you have a Facebook page?
Instagram, Snapchat, OnlyFans.
Everything's under Annie Thrax.
Annie Thrax?
So yeah,
ANNIETHRAX.
And then Instagram, I have 2 X's, and then Snapchat, I think there's 3 X's.
Ooh.
So just put it in the X's till you find me.
Annie Thrax.
Do you have an
Annie
OnlyFans?
I don't do OnlyFans because they take too much of a cut, and I think they're exploiting girls that don't fully know what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's a whole long conversation that I could go on for hours about. Also, they own your content, so if someone like dabbling, like, and be like, okay, like I want to do and like supplement my income, that picture could come up in an ad for OnlyFans years later.
Wow.
Like I feel like
Like,
they're not.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
I'm not a huge fan of the film industry because of that as well. That was a huge problem they have with that is that you own it much further.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, you don't own it at all, and they could
Your
use
voice
it
out and you're
anytime.
done. Leave it in. That's incredible. You can also catch Annie every most Wednesdays, I think, here at Woody's KC, and also Mondays and Fridays at Zoo Bar in downtown Kansas City.
Yeah.
Super, super exciting. Jared, where can we find you? on the other end of this knuckle.
Or you can find me on Instagram at Jared Horman or Facebook. I don't know, not on Facebook too much, so Instagram would be probably better.
Do you have an OnlyFans? Do you have a Just for Fans?
I don't, but you're not the first person to ask that question.
People just slide into your Instagram then?
Yep.
DMs?
Yeah, just slide in my DMs, that's fine.
Do you have a website for your artwork that you sell?
Yes, so jaredhorman.com is like a portfolio site, and there's a shop. It'll take you to my Shopify, and I actually have a bunch of my like pen and ink drawings from the last couple of years, prints of those for sale.
I know that you definitely just did a massive mural and stuff. Are you doing anything upcoming that people need to look out for? Any displays, any showings, any places that you're just going to be experimenting with dildos or buttons? Creating content, creating art?
I'm breathing for the second and working on figuring that out.
Fun size. I love all those words. Take a little bit of time.
Yep.
Ace, is there anything coming up for Woody?
Yes, actually, the city definitely has restricted the limitations and parameters of what we need to do right now, but we are developing more fun, creative drink lists. We also are bringing back some food into Woody's, so people look out for that. We've shortened our hours as well, but we're still trying to hold strong to some of the brands that we have cultivated over the past couple of years, like U-Haul, Furloughed, Throw Thursdays are doing really, really well, things like that. So make sure that you follow us at woodie'skc.com and make sure that you check out our Facebook page, Woody's KC, as well as our Instagram, which has content every single day, and it's fun and beautiful. Boss?
I will say KC Care right now is doing free HIV tests at home, contact us delivery. So you can go to Unboxed page, it should be pinned at the top, where you can order your free HIV kit, and it'll be delivered to your house and zoom you in and do the test. No blood required, it's just an oral swab, so it's super easy to do, results in 20 minutes. So definitely,
And that's free?
that's free. Take advantage of it. You don't have to go to a clinic, you don't have to
Not to wait
expose
in line.
yourself, no waiting in line. It's at your time, your convenience. So it's been really successful so far. We've been, I did 2 of them before I left to go on vacation. So I'm sure I have emails waiting when I get back. I haven't even looked at my work emails.
That's incredible. I
Yeah.
love for you to be testing.
Yeah.
Also, I forgot to mention here, creative innovation entrepreneurs are doing their 2nd annual homeless winter drive, as well as toy drive. Woody's is one of 4 locations in Kansas City where you can come in and drop off any unopened or unused new toys for kids, or any gently used laundered jackets, hand warmers, clothing, and stuff for homeless. We will be collecting all through the rest of December, so feel free to stop in here and drop off some stuff for us.
Awesome.
All right, everyone, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Don't forget, it's 10 Days of Trans. So next week we'll be joined by Korea Kelly and Jay Marie, who will be talking about day 9 of the 10 Days of Trans. Yeah, it's so
Oh, yeah.
exciting.
Don't forget, if you have any other questions or anything else, that you can leave them in the comments below, and we'll
Yeah.
get back to you. I'm sure that Wes will definitely put up Annie and Jared's Instagram account, so people can follow them as well. Thanks for watching.
Tag, tag.
Bye.
Bye.